Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I want to share some tips with you guys on how to burn fat and lose weight. So if your goal is to tone up and you want to shed that fat so you can see your muscle, these tips will be really great for you. Or if your goal is just to shed some pounds off the scale, then these will also be really great for you. So losing weight or shedding fat is all about exercise and diet. And diet is actually 70% of the whole process. So your diet is so important, and I'm going to be talking about that first. And then exercise is the last 30%, which is also extremely important. So you definitely need the two to achieve your goals in losing fat or losing weight. So the first thing that I want to talk about, I want to get this myth out of the way. I hear it from a lot of my clients. I hear friends asking me about it. The myth is that in order to lose weight or to burn fat, that you need to get rid of carbs from your diet. A lot of people think that they need to go on the keto diet. They need to just remove all carbs. That is not true at all. You can enjoy your carbs, you can lose weight, you can burn fat and still have your carbs. And the reason that this is not true is because the only thing that you need to do in order to burn that fat and lose weight is to go in a calorie deficit. So this means to eat less calories than your body is burning. So a calorie deficit is like going on a cut, if you've ever heard of cutting and bulking. And the reason why this is the only thing you need to do is because when you're eating less calories than you're burning, your body is going to start feeding off of the fat and the stored sugars that you have in your body. And that's how you're going to lose the fat, and that's how you're going to lose the weight. Now, why is it that people think that if you reduce your carbs, then you're going to lose weight? And why do they see results? Because yeah, people do see results, and I'm not gonna lie, you could do that. But the reason is because you are in a calorie deficit when you're doing it. So now that you know that you have to be in a calorie deficit, let me just go into tip number 2, where we're talking about your macronutrients. So the reason that you are in a calorie deficit when you remove most of your carbs is because it is one of your 3 macronutrients that make up your total calories. So you have your proteins, carbs, and fats. Now these make up the majority of your calories. So carbs and proteins are 4 calories per 1 gram, and fats are 9 calories per 1 gram. If you're removing your carbs and you're removing like a good portion of what you eat, then chances are that you're removing a lot of calories from your diet. And so you're in a calorie deficit. And that is why it would work for you. But I'm telling you that you don't need to do that. And if you really enjoy your carbs, you enjoy your pasta, your bread, all of that, you don't have to take it out. So this leads into tip number 3. Now, tip number 3, we are going to want to start tracking our food. We want to track our calories and we want to track our macros. The reason that we need to start doing this is because we need to see how much our body is currently eating. This is how we are going to be able to tell how many calories our body is burning in a day, what our maintenance calories are. So basically that means how many calories your body needs to go about its everyday processes in a day. So if you're an active person and you exercise a lot, you're going to be hungry more often. And if you are sedentary, if you're working and you're sitting all day, then you're not going to be hungry as often. So you want to track how much you're eating normally, and that way you can reduce those calories and you will be in a calorie deficit. Now, this is an estimate because some people do overeat. So if you're tracking what you normally eat, you overeat already, and so it's probably not your maintenance calories, you're probably a little bit over, but that's okay because reducing those calories anyways will still lead you to lose some of that weight because now you're not overeating anymore. Now, the way that you can track your calories, I know it sounds scary because you're like, well, how do I do this? I don't know how to do it. So I like to use an app called MyFitnessPal. I recommend it to all of my clients. I recommend it to family members who are trying to lose weight or even gain muscle. It's a great app where it asks you a bunch of questions in the beginning, like how active are you? You really have to be honest with this because they're going to generate calories for you, and if you're not honest with it, you can be eating too little or too many. And the next thing that it's going to ask is how tall are you, how much do you weigh, all of that kind of stuff. And then it's going to ask what your goals are. And if you're watching this video, it's probably to lose weight. So, or maintain weight if you want to maintain weight but like shed a little fat. So when you're on there and let's say you ate breakfast, you can import your eggs. You can literally search up eggs. They have a barcode and you can scan the box or the carton of eggs and it will generate it and you can put how many servings you've had. So I recommend you track your calories normally for a week. When I say normally, I mean don't change anything about your diet. Don't try and meet the calories that it has there for you. Just eat what you normally eat, be honest with yourself, and do that for about a week. Once you've done that for about a week, you know how many maintenance calories you have. So once you know that, that's when we want to start reducing our caloric intake. So this is going to lead into tip number 4, the percentages of your diet that should be which macronutrients. So tip number 4, I highly suggest that our carbs are 45%, even maybe 50% of our diet, of our calories. And the reason for this is because carbs give us a lot of energy. If we're working out and we're doing the exercises that we need to be doing in order to lose weight, well then we need to be eating our carbs because our body is not going to be able to get through those workouts without them. So once you have that and you generated that percentage, the next percentage is your protein. I think that 25 to 30% is a really good amount of protein. Maybe 30% is better if you are trying to lose weight, just because protein is more satiating. So you will be full for longer, and that way if you aren't eating as much as you normally do, you won't really feel like that just because you have more protein in you. And then lastly, you have your fats. So your fats should be 25 to 30% of your diet as well. This is just super necessary for your everyday processes. And you can fix all of these intervals within MyFitnessPal. Now, the calories that it has generated for you once you put how much weight you want to lose, make sure that it's only, you want to start off slow. So make sure that it's only about 100 calories to 200 calories under your maintenance, just because if you go really fast into it, you're gonna be super hungry, your body's not gonna be used to it, and then within a week you're going to fail and you're going to overeat. So definitely start off slow and then work your way down to the calories that it says that you should be eating. Now, how long should you do this for? How long should you cut? How long do you stay in this caloric deficit? And the answer is that is up to you. There is no specific time. It's just whenever you feel like you're happy and you're satisfied with the progress that you've seen. Once you're satisfied and you're done cutting and you don't want to lose any more weight, or you don't want to lose any more fat, then this is when you need to slowly start to go back to your maintenance calories, or you can just like eat intuitively. So you just eat when you're hungry, but don't start snacking when you're not hungry or doing all that, because then that's how we get into the overeating process again, and then it starts as we gain weight. Now, with our carbs, I did want to mention that there are better and healthier carbs out there that you should be eating if you want to lose weight and burn fat, just because they have more nutrients and they don't have as much sugar. So our whole grains are really great because they're more natural than our like white rice or white pasta or our white bread. So instead you want to try and switch to whole grains, because the sugar in the white like bread and pasta and all of that is going to make us more hungry and make us crave more food. So it's really beneficial if you switch over to the whole grains. And for the fats, we want to stick with some healthy fats like avocados, nuts, olive oil, any fats that are like healthy like that. Now, I think I covered most of the food portion. So now let's go on to, I think I'm at tip number 4 or 5. I don't remember, but let's go into the next tip. So for exercises, what are you going to want to do? Well, one thing that you're going to want to do is for sure a type of cardio. And the type of cardio that I highly, highly, highly recommend is HIIT. Now, HIIT stands for high intensity interval training. And it's a form of cardio, but it's an intense form of cardio. So when you think of cardio, probably what comes to your mind is running or going on the elliptical, on the treadmill, on the Stairmaster, all of that. All of that is cardio, and it's all great for your heart. But HIIT is a different form of cardio where it's like circuit training, and you're doing like burpees, and you're doing like mountain climbers, all of that. But you're doing it for a reduced time. So let's say that you normally go on the elliptical for an hour. An hour of the elliptical is not even as good as 20 minutes of HIIT. So HIIT is super intense because it's getting your heart rate up so high, so fast, and then it's lowering it on your rest time. So it's like 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, or 30 seconds on and 10 seconds off, whatever. And HIIT is so great because this intensity is what you need to be burning that fat and losing that weight. I have put so many clients through HIIT workouts whose goal was to lose weight or even just shed fat, and they just look so amazing. Like if you actually stick to it and that's what you want to do, then you will see results, and your diet has to be good as well. And with HIIT though, you shouldn't just be doing HIIT, and HIIT should only be done like 2 to 3 times a week because again, it's super intense and your body's going to be exhausted if you do it every day and you're not giving yourself rest. So 2 to 3 times a week is enough. And if you aren't sure what kind of HIIT workouts to do, I post them on my Instagram, so you guys can go ahead and check it out. And with HIIT, we are going to want to pair it with resistance training. So we want to pair it with weight training. Now, the reason for this is not so that we can just get all muscular. It's really because with weight training, you're working out big muscle groups and you're expending so much energy. You're burning so many calories when you're working with weights that it's going to eventually result in you losing weight or burning fat. So yeah, you can tone up with it too, but you don't have to get super bulky and you don't have to go super heavy. With weight training, I actually really recommend that maybe you stick to light to moderate weights and then do circuit style training, or where you do timed intervals instead of sets. And the reason for this is because the longer you're doing it for, you're also working your cardio a little bit and you're expending a little more energy. So you can use heavy weights if you feel comfortable with it, and that will definitely get you to burn a lot of calories, but also just keeping the time interval like up there, like 40 seconds, a minute of one exercise and then switching to the next back to back at like a superset, that's also really good as well. Now, I kind of just covered the surface of this and I hope it helped. If you guys enjoyed it and these tips were helpful for you, please let me know in the comments below. And if you are someone who's looking to maybe build muscle and gain weight, then I can make a video on that as well, because that's a whole different situation on what you should do. It's almost, yeah, it's like the opposite of this, obviously, but I can definitely do that for you guys. If you guys want a video on maybe healthy foods or a day in a cut or anything like that, meal prep ideas, let me know. I definitely want to help you guys out as much as I can. So hopefully you took something out of this and you learned something new. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.